Have you ever wondered how animals mate in the wild? Probably not. It's a weird thing to think about. But once you've watched a whole video about it, you'll find yourself wishing you had thought about it because it's actually super interesting.
The process.
Some mates for days. Some have odd rituals in the buildup.
14 of the most unusual animal mating behaviors.
Stamina when it comes to mating. These big cats can mate every 15 minutes for up to an entire week. That means they could mate around 250 times in that span. Leopards aren't monogamous, and a single female may mate with several males during her reproductive cycle. The process can be harsh, especially for the female. The male's barbed penis causes pain as he pulls away, and this can lead to frustration on the female's part. She often reacts by swiping at him in an effort to protect herself. It's a cycle of alternating pain and pleasure, as the drive to reproduce overpowers everything else. Despite the discomfort, this intense mating ritual plays a vital role in ensuring the survival of the species.
Giraffe selective mating rituals.
Dominant males get the chance to mate. Female giraffes, unlike many other animals, can breed year-round, but they become receptive to mating approximately every 2 weeks. However, since they live across vast territories, finding a mate can be challenging for the males. They have to travel between female groups in search of an opportunity. When a male giraffe is ready, he typically targets young adult females. To impress her, he might lick her tail, rest his head on her back, or gently nudge her with his ossicones, those small bumps on top of his head. Once courtship is successful, the male climbs on top of the female while balancing on his hind legs and resting his front legs on her sides. The female's pregnancy is quite long, lasting anywhere from 400 to 460 days, almost 15 months. When it's time for the calf to be born, it falls to the ground as soon as it's delivered, breaking the umbilical cord. Remarkably, within hours, the calf is already able to stand and walk, relying on its
Kangaroos fierce mating competition.
Is a highly competitive event where the strongest males fight for the chance to court a female. When a female kangaroo is in estrus, which means she's fertile and ready to mate, she roams large areas and sends out strong signals to attract the males. These signals could include scent markings or physical displays to show her readiness. Male kangaroos keenly observe these signals, sniffing her urine to confirm her status. If she's open to mating, the male will approach slowly, trying not to scare her away. Once he has her attention, he'll begin the process by licking, pawing, and gently scratching her, eventually leading to copulation. After mating, the male kangaroo often moves on to another female, since mating with a single partner can last several days. Rival males are constantly watching for an opportunity to step in, which leads to further competition. Larger dominant males usually stay close to the females in estrus, guarding their potential mates. Smaller males, on the other hand, tend to target females that haven't yet become fertile. Rather than chasing multiple females, the dominant males often focus on
Porcupine's prickly mating process.
spraying urine on the female to determine if she's receptive. If she's not, she will shake off the urine, signaling her disinterest. But if the female is ready to mate, she'll expose her vulnerable, quill-less underbelly, which shows she's open to the male's advances. Female porcupines only have a short window of 8 to 12 hours each year, during which they are receptive, making the whole process intense and time-sensitive. The male's patience is put to the test, as he must keep pursuing the female, mating repeatedly until she's satisfied. The actual act of mating is tricky, as the male has to carefully avoid the female's sharp quills while positioning himself. Once the female accepts his advances and the male mounts her, she remains relatively passive throughout the process. However, it's far from a one-time event. The male must go through multiple rounds of mating, which can be physically exhausting for him. This whole process shows just how adapted porcupines are to the challenges of reproduction. It requires persistence, skill, and a careful approach to ensure successful mating and the continuation of their species.
Rhinoceros intense courtship rituals.
after them, trying to get their attention. Once the male finally responds, the real drama begins. The pair engages in a fierce headbutting contest known as bluff and bluster, where the two rhinos lock horns and violently clash. These battles of strength and willpower can last for hours, with each rhino testing the other's endurance and power. The force behind their head-on collisions is extraordinary, and the contest is an intense way for the rhinos to assess whether they're a good match. Only the strongest and most determined can last through the brutal challenge, ensuring that only the fittest males get the opportunity to mate. Once the battle subsides, the actual mating occurs swiftly but remains significant. The courtship itself is vital for the survival of the species, as it showcases the rhino's physical
Hymns. Chaotic mating. Ritual.
The male will first sniff her behind and taste her urine to assess her fertility. Female hippos usually reach sexual maturity around 5 or 6 years old, although some may begin as early as 3 or 4. Male hippos, on the other hand, remain active year-round and can mate at any time. The competition among males intensifies during peak mating season, and they mark their territory by simultaneously urinating and defecating, asserting their dominance. Once a male has claimed his territory, the actual mating takes place in the water. The male submerges the female, forcing her to hold her breath and come up for air during intervals. After mating, the female carries the calf for about 8 months, which is relatively short compared to other large mammals. When the calf is born, it usually weighs around 50 kilograms and emerges in shallow water or on land. After birth, the mother seeks seclusion for 10 to 14 days, focusing on nursing the calf, which can happen both underwater and on land. The mother will
Lion's relentless mating cycle.
mate up to 100 times in a single day. The lioness requires several mating sessions to ovulate and conceive, and the act itself is aggressive. However, the most intense moment occurs when the male withdraws, as his barbed spines cause considerable pain to the female. This often triggers a growl or even a swipe from the lioness, who reacts to the discomfort with frustration and aggression. Despite the pain, this aggressive mating is crucial for the lioness to become pregnant. This non-stop cycle can continue for several days, with the male mating with the female every few minutes to maximize his chances of fertilizing her. While this process is demanding and exhausting, it's necessary for the survival of the pride, ensuring that the lion's bloodline continues. The mating process in the lion world is not only physical, but also a display of power and endurance, as dominance is
Bonobos intimate and social mating.
approach to mating, and they're not shy about engaging in sexual activity even when their offspring are nearby. Mating is central to bonobo society, where it helps strengthen social bonds. In fact, they use mating as a way to say hello, make peace after a fight, and resolve conflicts. Bonobos are one of the few animals, along with humans, who kiss using their tongues and engage in face-to-face sex. They don't limit themselves to a single partner, but instead have multiple mating partners, adding variety to their social interactions. When food is found, bonobos often celebrate by engaging in communal mating, which helps them relax and prevents fights over food. Female bonobos have large clitorises, and when they join a new group, they engage in sexual interactions with other females to be accepted into the community. One interesting behavior involves female bonobos rubbing their clitorises together to form strong bonds with each other. This constant mating, while seemingly wild, plays a key role in the peaceful nature of bonobo society, fostering cooperation.
Cheetahs. Competitive mating.
Contest of scent and power. Female cheetahs use their urine to signal to males that they are ready to mate. During their estrus cycle, they intentionally urinate in specific locations to attract the attention of nearby males. However, just because she sends out the signal doesn't mean the process is straightforward. When multiple males show up in response to her scent, the competition begins. For the male cheetahs, the process starts with marking their territory. As a female in estrus approaches, the males begin to make their scent markings more prominent, alerting others to their presence. If several males arrive, a fierce battle ensues. The strongest male will claim the right to mate with the female, but it's not always as simple as that. A female may mate with multiple males over the course of her estrus period. The actual mating process is swift and direct, with no elaborate courtship rituals. The male's interaction is brief and repetitive, mating several times a day for 2 to 3 days before moving on. When the time comes for the female to give birth, she will seek out a secluded area, often hidden in thick vegetation. She will give birth to a litter of 1 to 8 cubs, with 3 to 4 cubs being the most common. The mother is solely responsible for raising the cubs. The cubs are born blind, weighing only 150 to 300 grams, and remain hidden for the first month of their lives. The mother moves them to new hiding spots regularly, always alert to potential predators. As the cubs grow, they begin to venture out, and around 2 months old, they start eating solid food. By the time they reach 4 to 6 months, the cubs begin to practice hunting small prey. However, it often takes until they are 15 months old to make their first successful kill on their own.
Warthogs. Wild. Courtship.
Full of competition and persistence. The process begins with the males engaging in intense wrestling matches to prove their strength and win the attention of a female. These physical contests are crucial, as the victorious male will then shift to the next phase of the ritual, which is less about strength and more about strategy. The male warthog follows the female around, making loud clicking sounds to show his readiness and interest. If the female seems uninterested, the male doesn't give up. Instead, he becomes even more persistent, gently biting her in a playful yet determined effort to grab her attention. His courtship is about more than just showing strength. It's a mix of charm, persistence, and a little bit of humor. The scene can often be amusing, with the male circling endlessly as the female remains indifferent, making the whole process look almost comical. But eventually, the female gives in, and the mating occurs. It's quick, but intense, and rewards the male's persistence. This unique mating display highlights the warthog's determination and the lengths he's willing to go to win over. Typically between August and September. During this time, male zebras will do whatever it takes to win a female's attention. The courtship is marked by vocalizations, displays of strength, and sometimes even physical combat. Males will fight for the opportunity to mate with the female, showcasing their dominance and stamina. When a female is ready to mate, she signals her willingness by lifting her tail, and the male quickly takes action. The mating process is often drawn out, with both males and females using body language to communicate their intentions. Female zebras may flatten their ears, signaling disinterest or discomfort, while the male may show his teeth in a display of dominance. The process is competitive, particularly among the different zebra species. Plains and mountain zebras tend to keep their mating rituals more private, with females typically mating with the dominant stallion of their group. However, Grevy's zebras have a looser mating structure, where males compete fiercely for attention and develop larger testes to handle the increased sperm competition. Once mating has taken place, the gestation period lasts about a year. After the foal is born, the mother may become fertile again within a few weeks. The newborn foal can stand and run within an hour of birth, instinctively following any moving object, while the mother remains alert to protect it. Zebras, like many other species, display fascinating and competitive courtship behaviors, ensuring that only the strongest continue their bloodline. The wild world of and risky mating rituals in the animal kingdom. The female's anatomy presents a particular challenge for the male during
Zebra's
mating.
fierce.
The male must navigate
Breeding
the female's
season.
pseudopenis, a uniquely enlarged clitoris that resembles a male's penis. This can be a tricky and delicate process requiring great skill. The male must insert his penis into this organ, a task that is fraught with danger, especially for weaker males. If the male is unsuccessful or rough, it can result in injury or even death. The complications do not end there. Female hyenas give birth through this same organ, which makes the birthing process equally challenging and risky. The female's reproductive system is largely masculinized, and her clitoris extends into a tube that mimics the appearance of a male's penis. This feature makes it difficult to distinguish males from females at first glance. The pseudopenis, measuring about 171 millimeters in length, serves multiple functions such as urination, reproduction, and giving birth. Scientists have long been fascinated by the pseudopenis, but its exact purpose remains a subject of study. One theory is that it evolved to help female hyenas navigate the dominant social structure of their clans, where females hold leadership roles over males. Female hyenas are strong, dominant figures within their groups and are known to be excellent hunters. It's believed that the pseudopenis may help reinforce their status. Despite its potential advantages in social dynamics, the organ also makes reproduction risky and complicated. The unique anatomy can make mating and
Hyena's unique mating and reproductive ritual.
a male elephant mating with a female at a waterhole. The scene shifted from peaceful drinking to an intense mating display, marked by loud trumpet calls and excited movement. Elephants are polygynous, which means males typically mate with multiple females, especially during the rainy season. This is when female elephants, or cows, signal their readiness to mate by releasing pheromones in their urine and vaginal secretions. When a male elephant detects these signals, he uses a unique behavior known as the Fleeman response. This involves the male collecting the chemical sample using his trunk and tasting it with a specialized organ inside his mouth. This behavior helps the male assess the female's reproductive status. The female elephant's estrus cycle lasts between 14 to 16 weeks and is divided into two phases. The follicular phase lasts 4 to 6 weeks, while the luteal phase lasts 8 to 10 weeks. During the follicular phase, the female experiences 2 surges of luteinizing hormone. The first surge doesn't cause ovulation, but changes the female's scent, signaling to males that she's in heat. Ovulation occurs only after the second surge. As female elephants age, their fertility decreases, particularly in those over 45 years old. Interestingly, like humans, elephants also experience a period of adolescent romance. Male elephants go through a phase known as musth, where they secrete a fluid from their temporal glands and urine often drips continuously. During this time, their testosterone levels can skyrocket to 60 times the normal amount, making them more aggressive and noticeable in their pursuit of mates. These males become highly competitive, and fights often break out during mating season as they try to prove their strength. When a male emerges victorious from a battle, he displays his dominance by raising his trunk, signaling his success. Female elephants tend to prefer these dominant males, often showing interest in those who are the strongest and most assertive. Elephants also use captivating displays to attract mates. Males may engage in dancing, power posturing, or even entwining their trunks in an affectionate gesture. They communicate through low-frequency sounds known as infrasounds, which are inaudible to humans but carry deep meaning to elephants. These sounds are part of a subtle love song that expresses the male's intentions. When the male and female come together, it's a magical moment, marked by a deep connection and intimacy. After this, the female elephant faces a long pregnancy that lasts 22 months, one of the longest gestation periods in the animal kingdom. The birth of a calf is a monumental event for these gentle giants, showing the depth of their family bond.